Hi folks, it's been a while since I've done a video. I've been really busy working, doing a couple of different jobs, working still for Wood Magazine, writing articles, and I've started doing some tool testing for them as well. And I'm also still working at the Woodsmith store. I've started making videos there, doing product reviews and tool videos, and I'm also managing their website and doing the email marketing there. So keeping really busy, but I'm hoping to start making more videos here in my home shop as time allows. Thought for today, just take a look at some more flea market finds, some things that I've picked up at garage sales and flea markets over the last 2 or 3 months here. Things are kind of winding down for the garage sale season. It's getting cold, and probably won't have any more of these videos for a while, but got a few things here, so let's take a look. All right, nothing super exciting this time, but a few items of interest. Starting with this plane. This is a record number 4 smoother plane. I ordinarily will probably pass this by because I don't really need another number 4, but this one happened to have a hawk blade in it, which is probably worth more than what I paid for the whole plane, so I bought it basically just to get that blade. It's a nice aftermarket blade. They're a little bit thicker than the stock blades that came on these planes, and I'll probably take that out and put it in one of my own planes. All right, the next item here is a transitional plane. I'm sure many of you are already familiar with these. These are known as transitional because they have a wood sole and the blade mechanism is all made out of metal. So it was kind of a transition from the wood-bodied planes over to the all-metal planes. A number of plane manufacturers made these. This one is labeled Lakeside, which I think was a Montgomery Ward's brand, but it was actually made by Stanley for Ward's. I don't have any of these planes, and I know a lot of people don't really like them, but this one was, I think it was only $5, so I figured, you know, it looked pretty complete. I went ahead and bought it just to try it out and say I've tried one. It looked really good. I mean, other than the fact that it's rusty, it looked like everything was there, but then when I got it home, I did notice that the screw holding the cap iron to the blade was missing, which that's not a big deal, but shame on me for not taking a closer look at it. But like I said, it was only a few bucks, so it's worth it. Picked up a couple of socket chisels. The one on top here is a Stanley 750. I think it's 1.5 inches wide. Needs a handle, obviously. This one is a Keen Cutter, and a lot of people like the Keen Cutter brand. It's a 1/2 inch wide. I don't think this handle's original because it says Craftsman on it, but it fits in there. So a couple of extra chisels to add to the pile. This is a Stanley number 18 bevel gauge. I've got a wood and brass bevel gauge that I tend to use most of the time. I don't have one like this, so I think it was only $3 or $4. So I ended up picking that up because it's in pretty good shape. Has a little bit of surfaced rust, but other than that, it should clean up pretty nice. All right, another draw knife here. This one's a little bit unusual. It's made by Douglas Manufacturing, and the thing that's unusual about it is the fact that you can adjust the handles by unscrewing the end here. And then this handle has little detents in it, so you can put it into different positions and change the angle of the handles. So not sure how useful a feature that is, but it's something that somebody at some point thought was handy. And I'd never seen anything quite like this, so I ended up picking this one up too. Got another sharpening stone here. I'm not sure what this is. It's some kind of a natural stone. It looks to be almost like a sandstone just from the look of the striations here. This box obviously is an original to it, but I'll go ahead and try that out, see how it sharpens. Probably won't end up keeping this, but it was interesting enough that I wanted to try it out and see what it's like. I picked up a lot of these spring clamps. These are original Pony brand, made in the US. I think the ones now are made overseas, so I don't know. I like the older ones. I think they're a little bit better made. So if I find them cheap enough, I'll go ahead and pick those up when I see them. They're handy for using around the shop just for when you need an extra hand just to sort of hold something in place while you're getting things in position. So they come in handy quite often, so good to have a few sizes around. I know I keep saying that I'm not going to buy any more hand saws, but when I find ones that are in great condition or are just dirt cheap, it's kind of hard to turn them down. Here's a couple more Sandvik saws. I had a couple of Sandviks in one of my previous videos. It's kind of funny because I've never come across these before, and here within the last 6 months, a year or so, I've come across 4 of them. So these are, I think, maybe a little newer than the ones that I had last time, but they look like they have actually never been used. They had little protectors on the teeth when I got them, and I pulled those off just for the video, but there is a, let's see, a 12-point here and a 10-point here. They're both, I believe they're both cross-cut, number 277 and a 288. So I don't know if I'll end up keeping these. I may just go ahead and put them up on eBay for somebody that's into these Sandvik saws, but they were just in too nice of condition to pass up. Okay, these are a little older and not in the same nice condition as the Sandvik saws, but they're a couple of distance saws, and I think I paid $2 for each of these, which, again, like I said, it's just hard to pass up. This is a D12, which is kind of a desirable saw amongst distance saw collectors. It was one of their higher grade saws. It has the little nib on the top there and the carved handle. This is a 10-point. I think it was a 22 inches, I believe. Not real long. And then here's a slightly newer Distin D7. And this was actually in pretty good shape. It doesn't look like it's been used much. I think this is a little bit newer, though, probably from after World War II. So like I said, hard to pass them up when they're so cheap. That's it for the woodworking tools. I did find a few metalworking machining tools, starting with this Desmond Huntington grinding wheel dresser. This is one of the star type wheels. I do like these. They're good for opening up the clogged pores on a grinding wheel. I have one already, but it's good to have an extra, just to have one at each grinder. You don't have to go hunting them down. So you can get replacement wheels for these, so when they wear down, just replace those, and this will last for forever, really. I picked up a small bronze hammer and just a piece of brass. It was obviously used as a drift pin of some sort, so I think I paid $1 for each of these. Hard to pass that up. I don't have a little bronze mallet like this, so that's handy to have. This is a small live center, has a #1 Morse taper. I think I gave $5 for this one, and when I bought it, I figured it was probably just some Chinese import. And then when I got it home, I took a look at it, and it's actually Bison. It's made in Poland. Bison's a decent brand. They make fairly good stuff. I think new these retail for about $100, and this doesn't look like it's been used. It came in the original wrapping still, so I'll go ahead and use that with my little Atlas lathe. Well, when I was at the swap meet for Iron Fest, I came across this pile of lathe tool bits, and these are all older American-made high-speed steel lathe tool bits. You used to be able to buy these on eBay really cheap. You could get, bucketfuls of them for hardly anything, but in the last few years, the price seems to have really shot up. So, guy had this box of it, and I just gave him an offer for all of them. I think there's about 100 in here, and various sizes from 1/4 inch up to 1/2 inch, but mostly smaller sizes, which is what I really can use because I can't handle anything. This is probably too big for my lathe, but the 1/4 inch and 3/8, that size works well for me. All right, and I've got one more item, but in order to see it, we got to go upstairs. It's in the garage, so let's head up there and take a look. I apologize for the poor lighting conditions here in my garage, but this is the last item I wanted to show you. I found this on Facebook Marketplace, and it is a piece of railroad track. It's about 7.5 feet long, and it weighs, at least a couple hundred pounds. About killed me getting it out of my van. Guy that had it, he had it sitting in his yard and he just wanted it out of there. And you probably wonder why I would buy this, but I see a lot of people on YouTube that have made little anvils out of, a foot-long section of railroad track. And I've been curious about trying to do that, but finding a piece of track isn't easy. So when I saw this, I thought, well, go ahead and get it and see if I can cut it up and use it that way. So this has a date on it. It actually was made in 1916, so it's pretty old, but it should be a good piece of iron. So anyhow, I hope to make more videos on machining and woodworking, getting back into the shop a little more now that the weather's getting cold. So stay tuned and hopefully you'll see more from me. Thanks for watching.